President Trump and Elon Musk are announcing some big savings on the Doge website. An estimated $55 billion. That's all in less than a month. Republican Congressman Pat Fallon with this.
Doge has got a lot of momentum. The taxpayers are sick and tired of their money being squandered and people talking about it for decades and nobody doing anything about it. And finally, we have a president that's going to take bold action.
Well, there are now Doge social media accounts for every single government department to expose all of the waste, fraud, and abuse. Some of those issues were already exposed before President Trump took office. The Government Accountability Office had reported $236 billion in improper payments for fiscal year 2023. They estimate those improper payments total nearly $3 trillion over the last 2 decades. Despite all that, Democrats are still pushing back. Protests against the agency are popping up across the country. But it wasn't too long ago that President Obama described the very thing Doge is doing.
One of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. Cutting waste, making government more efficient is something that leaders in both parties have worked on. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste.
Oh, we launched something on our own initiative. Oh, I'm so glad to welcome Republican Congressman Andy Biggs of the great state of Arizona, member of the Oversight and Judiciary Committees. So, and you also had former President Obama there, Congressman, talking about bipartisan and how everybody should work together. I don't know if the left of today is listening.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Harris. And it wasn't just President Obama. There are members of the Democrat Party who are sitting in Congress today who have actually introduced legislation periodically that mirrors what's happening in Doge. But when you see our hearings over and over again, they're going after Elon Musk personally. They're going after President Trump personally. It is as if they do not want to get to the bottom of this wasteful spending, which includes fraudulent spending, which includes corruption. So, yeah, they've been there, but they're kind of holding their heads back, at least publicly. There's a few that have privately said, yeah, we got to do something. But most publicly are just fighting us.
And on this program yesterday, I mean, we know that Democratic voters and Democrat supporters of the party have said, yeah, maybe we should have been doing this in the past a little bit more so that, you know, we could at least talk about it from an informed stance. Just a thought. Elon Musk was speaking about Democrats turning on him. Let's watch.
I used to be adored by the left, you know.
Yeah, not anymore.
Less so these days.
He killed that, huh?
I mean, less so.
I really didn't.
Well, I mean, this whole sort of like, you know, they call it like Trump derangement syndrome. And I didn't, you know, you don't realize how real this is until like you can't reason with people. So like I was at a friend's birthday party in LA, just a birthday dinner. I happened to mention the president's name. And it was like they got shot with a dart in the jugular that contained like methamphetamine and rabies, okay? And they're like, wow! And I'm like, what is wrong? Like, guys, like, you just can't have like a normal conversation. Yeah. And it's like, it's like they become completely irrational.
Well, that is part of Sean Hannity's exclusive interview with President Trump and Elon Musk. It airs in full tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Congressman, look, we know politics are always at play, but the people are in the middle here, and we got to get this straight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you start talking about the amount of money that has gone out, say, in improper payments, or the 1.5 million people that Doge is saying possibly don't even exist that are getting Social Security benefits, that impacts you and me. It impacts every American who's paying taxes because these are wrongful payments going out. That adds to our structural deficit, which adds to our national debt, which is stuff that we have to live with because our federal government has been absolutely irresponsible in how it's audited or managed its spending abilities and responsibilities. That requires, in my opinion, accountability.
Well, and you wonder, too, as Elon Musk and the team at Doge are looking into this, are they privy to some of the previous looks at some of the spending, too? Because, I mean, there were audits that happened over decades. They just didn't balance the budget. I don't think they even approached doing it. So I'm certain we're going to find out so much more going forward about what they knew and didn't do anything about. Senate Republicans are hoping to push through a plan to boost border security by $175 billion just this week. And the bill would also include more funding for energy projects and defense spending. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who is leading the charge to get this passed, explained why they need to act right now.
I've never been more worried about a terrorist attack on our homeland than I am now. Tom Homan said that the activity on the northern border is at an alarming rate. Tom talked about trying to find these children. Half of us started to cry. You have no idea what hell these kids are going through. And the sooner we can give ICE and other people the money to free them, the better off our country will be. We're hitting a wall. They need the money, and they need it now.
Yeah, you know, you and I have had some really heart-scratching moments, too, watching the missing children part of this entire disaster at the border. I mean, and you see Lindsey Graham there tearing up. It's understandable. That's against our soul if we don't protect little ones, no matter where they come from. And if they need to be sent back, how do we do that? So I know the House is working on something, too. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so there's agreement, Harris, on the amount of money that needs to go out. This is a 10-year package of between 150 and 175 billion dollars. But when I talked to Tom Homan, he told me a month ago, he says, Andy, we're about out of money. He says, ICE is in the hole already. We need this money now. And so you need the money for everything, for detention, to remove people from the country, buy them the seats. You need to. We're driving trucks. Our guys are and ladies are driving trucks that are 250,000 miles that don't run. So Harris, we've got a massive problem there, and that's not even getting to the ORR, the Office of Refugee and Resettlement problem, where they've lost the 330,000 children. Which, by the way, that's their number, and I always think that they're probably undercounting those numbers as we go forward. So Tom wants to get those kids. He wants to recover them, and he also wants to remove people from this country who are dangerous and need to be removed from this country as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that anybody would defend the other side of that politically. It's hard to believe. Quick last word.
Yeah, thanks, Harris. Yeah, we've got to get this done ASAP because we've got to get Tom the money and resources he needs to carry out this agenda on border security. That was a main thing in the campaign.
All right, Congressman Andy Biggs, thank you very much for being with me.
My pleasure. Thanks, Harris.